Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody?
Going good. How are you?
Excellent. Doing great. All right, guys. Today we're going to be talking about our bodies. This is going to be a series of videos for science and STEM learning that we're going to put out there for people to get some knowledge about. So we're going to dive deeper into different body systems, but first, Mandy's going to start us out with some vocabulary so that we're all on the same page. Mandy, why don't you go ahead and take that away for us?
You're muted.
Mandy, you're muted.
And hello again. So I was halfway through that definition, my bad. All right, so the first word that we have is anatomy, and the definition is the branch of science concerned with the bodily structure of humans, animals, and other living organisms. So that's a term that you're going to need to know, and as you're going along with us, you guys can write them down as well. The second one is body systems. The body systems are an organized group of tissues or organs that perform a particular function. All right, so what are some of the main systems of the body? This is a question for Karosh. You're muted.
Muted.
At least we're all following proper etiquette, right?
There's the circulatory system, nervous system, skeletal system, respiratory system, and muscular system.
Nice.
In our bodies work together to allow us to function. So today, Mandy's going to tell us the system that we are going to work on, and then we'll go from there.
All right, so the system we're working on today is the skeletal system, which includes all the bones and joints in the body. So that's what we're working on.
Awesome. Yeah, so first we're going to need to know a few things, and a lot of this is going to be trivia facts, a little bit about the bones of our body, just to kind of make it a little more fun. So we need to go over a few important things with the skeletal system. So Mandana, my first question is for you. Why is the skeletal system important? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
You're muted.
The skeletal system is important because it provides the shape and the form of your body. It also provides support and protection to your organs. It also allows us to move. It produces blood for the body, and it stores minerals inside the bones.
That's awesome. So our skeletal system has so many important functions. A lot of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis, if we were just a whole bunch of organs, we wouldn't be able to do it because this is how we get all of our structure to our body. So here's some quick trivia questions that I'm going to ask both. Actually, everybody, I think, has some trivia tools. So we're going to see if you know the answers to these. So these are things that you can go and tell your friends. Fun facts that you learned here at Axoschools. So Mandana, do you know how many bones are in the adult human body?
206.
Very good. Okay, so I said adult human body. You told me that there are 206. But now here's kind of a tricky question. What about a baby? How many bones does a baby have?
300?
300. So does any here on this call know why there's a difference between how many bones are in the adult skeletal system and how many bones are in an infant skeletal system?
The reasoning for a lot more bones in an adult skeletal system, in a baby skeletal system than an adult, even an adult is so much bigger, is because all of those little bones in the baby skeletal system fuse together to create larger bones. And even if they're bigger bones, there's still less bones because two bones fuse and turn into one.
Yep, very good. Great job, Karosh. All right, Mandana, my next question is for you, my friend. Do you know what bones have inside of them?
Bone marrow. Marrow.
Yeah. Marrow, bone marrow. That's right. Bone marrow is a spongy substance that's found inside of our large bones, like your pelvis and your femur. Mandy, do you know why bone marrow is so important?
Yeah, so bone marrow houses stem cells, which are responsible for producing many of the body's most important cells, including blood, brain, heart, and bone cells.
Yeah, that's right. So a lot of the things that we need for our bone health and in our body in general are found within the bones themselves and are produced there. All right, Karosh, man, this one's for you. Where is the smallest bone in your body? Yeah, we can't hear you because you're muted.
It's in your ear. Once again, I made the
Ironically
same.
enough.
Yeah, you can hear me. It's in my ear. But it's called the staple or stapes, or what's it called?
Stapes. Very good. Yep.
The stapes. It's called the stapes, and it's in your ear. It's
Yeah,
the
so that's
smallest
in
bone in the entire body.
Yeah, and it's in the middle of your ear, and it looks like a stirrup. So sometimes people will call it the stirrup as well. And if you don't know what a stirrup is, it's like when you're horseback riding, that thing your feet go in.
Yeah, that thing in the.
So yeah, that's what it looks like. So the stapes is really important. It's a really important bone because it helps to translate all of the sounds that you're hearing right now into waves that your brain can actually understand. So it makes sense of everything in our environment that's going in the ears in order for us to actually understand that up here in the brain. All right, another trivia fact about bones. So let's see who can get this one right, okay? Which bone is the longest and the largest bone in the body?
The
The
femur.
femur.
Yes, it's the
Her.
femur.
Mandana got it. She got it. I heard her come in.
Yeah, it is the femur, and the femur runs from your hip to your knee. Just imagine how much weight that is on that bone all the time. So no wonder it's so strong.
Right. So next question. Are we ready? Nobody's ready? Oh, we're ready. Okay, excellent, excellent. Where is the location of the body? So where in the body are the most bones located?
Boom. In your hands. Out of
In
all of
your-
the 206 bones in your body, almost, or about exactly 106 of them are located in your hands. All of those little movements, things you can do, thumbs, like this, all of that's
And your
located
feet.
in your hands.
And your feet. Excellent. So Karosh gave us that video footage of his hands and feet there. So yeah, out of all 206 bones, 106 of them are just in your hands and your feet combined. That's crazy. All right, so bones are also classified into different classes. There are long bones, which are longer than they are wide. So I guess I should say longer than they are wide. Karosh, can you please give me some examples of long bones in our skeletal system?
The femur, the clavicle, those are two of them. Or clavicle?
Yes, those are really good. Okay, so now we have long bones. We also have short bones. These are bones that are approximately as
You froze.
equal length, width, and thickness. So all of those dimensions. Mandana, would you give an example of short bones, please?
Your carpals. Right
Very
here.
good.
It's your wrist bone.
Yes. Yes, so that's a great example. Guys, I'm getting a warning about my internet being unstable. How are we doing?
I got out a little bit.
Yeah, but you're sounding better now, so I think you're okay.
All right, so let's keep going. So now we have long bones, which are kind of like these sort of bones, and we have our short bones, which are like the bones in our wrist. So there's another type of bone, and these are called flat bones. They're thin, often curved. Some of examples of these are the ribs and our scapula, which is our shoulder blade back there. Another thing to know about bones is that they're really, really strong. I mean, think about it, right? You walk, you jump, you play, you bounce, you hit your bones. They don't just break, right? But what happens, Mandana, if I put a force that's way stronger than your bone?
It breaks because your bone can't handle that.
Exactly. So when you fracture a bone, that external force that's happening on it is stronger than your bone. The cool thing is that when you do end up fracturing or breaking a bone, is that your body is going to go to work to produce new bone cells, which help to heal that break. And a lot of that's going to come from your bone marrow that Mandy was talking about. All right, one last thing before we start teaching you what some of the bones in the body are and where they're located is that bones lose strength over time. Karosh, keeping your bones strong requires eating foods that are rich in what mineral?
That are rich in, I remembered to unmute myself this time.
Woohoo!
Calcium.
Calcium, excellent. And Mandy, you are our nutritionist on staff today. So what kind of foods are calcium-rich foods?
So dairy products, right? So we've got our milk, yogurt, broccoli, and even some fish. So these are important to keep in mind and make sure you include them in your daily diet.
All right, so another thing that's important to keep bones strong is doing daily exercises. Mandana, what kind of exercises are important to keep our bones strong?
Weight-bearing exercises.
All right, so Karosh is giving you some weightlifting, shoulder presses over there. Anything that has weights or puts a stress on your bones is going to make it stronger. Remember, though, we just can't have that external force being more powerful than what our bone can handle, because then it's going to break. All right, so when you exercise and you have a load or weight, it will help keep your bones strong. The skeletal system is built to support you for your entire lifetime and to have movement during that entire time, but you have to do your part and also take care of it. If you don't take care of it, things can happen. All right, so now my assistants here, we are going to teach you 20 bones of the body, and they are going to do all of the work because they have our skeletons in their location. So here we go. We're going to teach you 20 bones, where they're located, and a few interesting facts about these bones. So here we go.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to be naming the bone, and then either one of you guys is going to be pointing to where that bone is on your skeleton. Are you guys ready? All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. The first one is skull.
Right up here. This
Awesome
big thing.
job. It supports the structures of your face and provides protection for your brain.
Very nice. An important bone for sure. All right, the next one is the maxilla.
That is your upper jawbone. It's going to support all of your teeth in your upper jaw.
Awesome. Next one is the mandible.
That is your lower jawbone. It's actually the strongest bone in your face. So that's a pretty interesting fact, because you need those chompers to eat your food.
Yep. Next one is clavicle.
Right here is your clavicle.
Awesome. So that's our collarbone, also known as the clavicle. It is the only long bone in your body that lies on the horizontal plane. So if we're talking about directions, horizontal is like this, vertical is like this. Most of our long bones lie vertically when we're looking at our anatomy, but the clavicle is the only one that is in this orientation as far as the long bones go. So also, fun fact about the clavicle is that it is actually the most commonly broken bone. You would think that maybe it would be your arm or something like that, but a lot of times when people put their hands out, it's not their arms that get broken, it's the force going down on this junction right here. And so it is the most commonly broken bone in the body. Who knew? I didn't know that. I fact checked that about 4 times last night on different sites because I was like, no way. But yes.
Oh, I can't even imagine how bad that would hurt. My face just now. Wow. Okay, scapula.
This back shoulder bone right here. So
Yes. So that scapula is our bat wing. So some people can push them out really far in their back. So that is a really important shoulder bone.
Next one is the sternum.
It's right here in between your ribs.
Yep. So the sternum runs right down the center. That is a flat bone. A lot of people, to remember where the sternum is, you can think about it if, Karosh, could you zoom in on your skeleton and show us a close-up of that sternum? So a lot of people think about the sternum as a necktie. It looks like a necktie, so that's how they remember that it goes right down the middle of your rib cage. And it's also a flat bone.
The next one is ribs.
Well, like I said, the sternum is in between your ribs.
Very good. So now we have our rib cage. Those are all of the bones that look like those little projections. And does anybody know what organs they're protecting? What's up in there?
Your heart.
Your heart and your lungs are underneath that rib cage. So that's serving as a protection of those organs. And ribs are also flat bones.
Very nice. Next one is humerus.
All right, that was humerus. Okay, so the humerus is the upper arm bone that you have. There's only one in your upper arm and your upper leg. So Karosh has some big biceps when we go over muscles that are over his humerus.
Perfect opportunity to show off your muscles. All right,
Mm-hmm.
Next one is the radius.
The radius is the bone that's next to your thumb. So this is the thumb. If I go up, this one's the radius.
Yep. So if you were to hold your arm straight out in front of you, your thumb is connected to an arm bone, and that top arm bone is going to be your radius. So if you just remember, radius is thumb side, give that radius a good thumbs up. That's going to be where your bone is.
Nice. Next one is ulna.
All right, excellent. So this one is the thinner, longer bone in your lower arm. So again, if you do that radius thumbs up and you have your radius up here, your ulna is going to be underneath. Back in the old days, the old days were not when I broke my ulna, but back in the old days, physicians used to see ulnar fractures because they would protect themselves like this from getting hit by an object. So a lot of times you would see fractures in the ulna or breaks in the ulna because of that kind of trauma to their bones.
Wow. Next one is carpals.
So yeah, we already talked about this. It's in your, it's your wrist bone right here that lets you go like this, like this. If you didn't have that bone, this would how your hand would be. You would be like, nyeh. Like you would be able to move your fingers and stuff, but you wouldn't be able to go like that.
Yeah. So those carpals are our wrist bones. And interestingly enough, a lot of the terminology in the medical field comes from Latin. What was that?
You're back. You're sounding just fine now.
You
Okay.
were lagging out a little bit at the beginning of
I gotcha. All right, so these come from the Latin term carpus. And a lot of our medical terminology actually comes from Latin root words. So if you're interested in being a doctor, learning Latin root words is really going to help you in life. Fun fact.
That's a good study tip for everybody who wants to be a doctor. I like that. The next
Yeah.
one is phalanges.
All right, I'm going to tell you more about the phalanges.
I meant to say I was muted, but boom! These are your phalanges. Boom. These
Excellent.
are your
So I'm going to
phalanges.
I'm going to tell you more about phalanges a little
It's
bit
not
later.
your
So let's-
phalange. These are your phalanges.
Yep. All right, so let's keep going.
Oh, next one is the spine.
So, this is your spine. It sends the messages up to your brain to do stuff.
Very, very good. Yep. So the spine is made up of 33 individual bones stacked one on top of the other. The spinal column provides the main support for your body, allowing you to stand upright, to bend, to twist, to move, while protecting your spinal cord from injury.
Very nice. The next one is pelvis.
Your pelvis is right here, this long bone.
And that's how you do your hip rotations.
Your hips don't lie.
Mm-mm.
The next one is femur.
All right. So as we told you before, the femur is the longest and strongest bone in your body. And because the femur is so strong, it usually takes a lot of external force to break it. And it's one of the most painful bone breaks you'll ever experience if you have a broken bone. The femur would not be one you want to break because it's so strong. So it does take a lot of force to do that. So that's your upper leg bone.
Okay, the next one is the my face, because the pain of it, I don't even want to think about it, is patella.
It's this ting right here, this little knee bone. Yeah.
Yes, don't lose your skeleton there. Yes, so the patella is your kneecap.
Awesome. And the next one is the tibia.
The tibia. It is your shin bone, as Karosh is pointing out to us. It is the larger bone at the front of your lower leg.
Awesome.
Next one is the fibula.
It is the smaller one. Yeah.
Very good. She is right. The fibula is the smaller and thinner bone in the lower leg.
Very nice. The next one is the tarsals.
Does anyone see Karosh?
Karosh? There he is.
Can you show us where the tarsals are, my friend? Excellent. So they're the bones that make up your ankles and allow you to have that movement there. And then our last one, our 20th bone, and it is a repeater, phalanges. All right. So think about this. There are actually 56 phalanges in the human body, 14 on each hand and each foot. 3 phalanges are present on each finger and toe, with the exception of the thumb and the large toe, and those only have 2. So if you want to take any of that knowledge, you can go ahead and impress your family and your friends with that. So I'm going to screen share with you a picture really quick that we're going to go over, and then we will be done. So here we go, starting at the top. If everybody wants to do this, maybe you do it on your skeleton, maybe not, but I will go over it on here. First, we have our skull, and that protects our brain. We also went over our maxilla, which is not labeled on this screen, but that's okay. That is our upper jaw. Our mandible as our lower jaw. Our clavicle, which is our collarbone and the only long bone that's horizontal. Our scapula, which is our shoulder blade. And then going down the arm, this upper bone in the arm is the humerus. Then we look at our hand and we've got our thumb side in our lower bone, that is the radius. The other bone is the ulna. Our carpals make up our wrist, and our phalanges are our fingers. Going back to the center of the body, we have our sternum, and it connects to our ribs, which are protecting our heart and our lungs. And then from there, going down the back, we have our long column, which is the spine. From there, very good, we have our pelvis, which are our hips. Then we have our upper leg bone. Good hip rotations, Mandana. We have our upper leg bone, which is our femur, our kneecap, which is our patella, our tibia, which is the shin bone, the one that's
one. It's pronounced Nutella.
Oh.
Some people like to remember kneecap as Nutella, but it is the patella. And then we have our smaller bone in our lower leg as the fibula. Our tarsals make up our ankles down here, and then we have our phalanges in our toes as well. So if you guys want to learn some more, we are going to link below some resources, a video going through these, telling you a little more fun facts on our bones, as well as a bones song to help you remember that. Of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and let us know. We're here. Mandy and I's contact information is down below. If you have any suggestions for topics, also let us know. Otherwise, that's our science lesson for the day. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.